What's up everyone? Welcome back to my channel. Today's video, I'm gonna go over some styling tips that I've learned along the way to help you achieve that professional interior design look in your own home. Now I know that we have lots of different professional, really well done images in our face all the time, whether that's on Instagram or Pinterest. And oftentimes that can be a little bit overwhelming, or we might feel like we can't achieve that look. But I feel like these tips that I'm gonna share with you today are a bit more relatable and a bit more achievable. So I've compiled a few tips to share with you guys on things that you can do right now, things that you can do today in your own home. The first tip that I wanna give is layering. Now, not only layering in your home decor, I've talked about this a ton on my channel, whether that's layering rugs or layering books or layering different little zones or spaces in your home, but also layering your bedding. Thank you so much, Brooklinen, for partnering with me on today's video. As you guys know, I've been sharing Brooklinen for a while now. I love Brooklinen. We have all Brooklinen bedding on our bed. We have Brooklinen towels in our bathroom. We love Brooklinen. What I really love about Brooklinen is you get that really luxury product without the luxury price. Brooklinen has taken out the middleman, making it more affordable to have that really high quality product. Right now, Brooklinen is having their President's Day sale from the 16th through the 23rd, where you can save even more on your bedding. What I've done on my bed, now my bed is all white, and there's two reasons for this. One is that my bed is the place where I go for relaxation, where I like to wind down from a long day, where I like to catch up on shows or YouTube videos, or even going through my interior design books. I really love to climb into bed at the end of the day and really kind of wind down. So for me, having all white bedding is really calming and relaxing. I have always loved white bedding. But the other reason is we live in a really, really tiny space, and I really wanted to make sure that I was very mindful when choosing our bedding and not going overboard or making it feel too busy. So the second reason I went with all white bedding is to keep it very neutral, calm, clean, and not too busy or loud for our small space. Now, when it comes to layering your bed, right now I currently have 2 duvets on our bed. Before, I had 2 duvet inserts in one duvet cover. I've noticed a lot of professionals doing 2 duvet comforters on beds. This gives it a very plush, very fluffy look, which I really love. Like I said, this is my place for relaxation. So I want it to feel like I'm climbing into like a 5-star hotel, super luxurious bed. And that's the reason why I went for this. Now, I will say we cannot sleep under 2 duvets, so we do take one off at night. However, to achieve that really luxurious kind of fluffy look, this is the best way that I have found. And also it makes it really nice because, like I said, you can take one off and place it, we place it in our living room, but you can take one off when you go to sleep so you're not too hot. When layering, this is the perfect opportunity to bring in textures, colors, and patterns to your bedroom. So for me, what I would do under this top layer, I would probably keep my top layer very neutral, very calm, but maybe the comforter or even a quilt, I would do something with a pattern or a color, and then also complement that with some throw pillows. I've added the cashmere layer to our bed recently. I really love this because it gives it that very, very clean look. Now, as you guys know, I'm a huge fan of Belgian linen. It is my favorite. I love how casual it looks. I love that it has a lot of texture. I love linen. I love how breathable and lightweight it is. However, I've been going through a stage recently where I have wanted to almost mature our home a little bit more, button it up a little bit and make it feel a little bit more formal. Not too much, because I'm not the most formal person, but sometimes it is nice to add in those formal pieces. So adding in the cashmere texture has really kind of cleaned up our bedding, but I do still have my linen duvet underneath this one, and I have linen throughout, kind of mixing those textures. Thank you so much again, Brooklinen, for partnering with me on today's video, and I will have their information linked down in the description, so make sure you click that and don't miss out on the sale. This is another really great example of layering. Now, this is my office chair, and I've shared this in the video in one of our vlogs, but I like to just layer a little throw blanket to kind of make it feel a little bit more effortless and layered and kind of styled, but it actually makes such a beautiful impact here pulled up next to the table. And I just love the way it looks. It adds a different texture and a different feeling, but it's just things like this that are so simple, yet such a big impact with layering your pieces. The next thing that I want to talk about is staging your home. Now, this can seem really unrealistic because most of the time, we don't have our home perfectly staged. However, I do think you can do this from time to time for yourself or when you have guests over. One of my favorite ways to do this is right before having guests over to stage certain little areas, whether that's the bathroom for the guests or if I want to make something for the guests. It's really easy to kind of stage your home for reasons like that. Also, right before making like a big meal. So say I want to make a pie and I get a whole bowl full of apples. Because it's just my husband and I, we don't have any children and it's just the two of us, it's not always realistic to have a full bowl of apples or artichokes or, you know, things that you see when you're looking through magazines and you're looking through different homes on Pinterest and Instagram. However, one way I like to do this is if I'm gonna make a pie, then I will fill a bowl full of apples or pears or, you know, whatever I'm making. And then also like this little setup that I have back here, you can actually make a cute little setup right before your guests come over, because you can actually go ahead and take this once they get here and then cut it up and make your charcuterie or put it in the oven or whatever you're doing for that day. And I think that this is a really fun way to be able to stage your home, make it feel pretty, snap a picture, and make it really feel very luxury, high-end, professionally done. So with the bread here, I'm gonna bring it over. With the bread, one way that I've learned with like doing photography and doing styled shoots or workshops and different things that we would set up for is pulling the ingredients from the bread. So this bread's actually a rosemary olive bread. So I just put some sprigs of rosemary in here. And this is a really great way to be able to style, is to pull the ingredients out of what you're styling, especially if it's food. So I just wrapped up this loaf in a linen kitchen towel, put some sprigs of rosemary, put it on a vintage breadboard, and put it on the kitchen island. Now, this isn't something I would do on the daily in our home or have it setting out for, you know, a long period of time. That's not realistic, but having it right before guests come over and kind of having a little stage setup really gives it that magazine professionally styled look. Another thing that you will see is they will have a bowl full of the same thing. So realistically at home, we're gonna have our apples, our pears, our peaches all in one bowl, or at least that's the way we do it. But when professionals are styling, they really do keep it to one thing. So whether that's a bowl full of pears or artichokes, and for this, that's not always realistic, but if you have guests coming over, you then can grab the artichokes or grab the pears or, you know, whatever, but you have a few days of a beautifully styled kitchen that you get to enjoy it for yourself. I also really like to do some styling and staging in the bathroom when we know we're gonna have guests come over. So if they're gonna be staying with us, I like to do a little setup like I did here with the water carafe and the mouthwash, and I just put a little linen towel underneath to give it a little bit more depth and a little bit more styling, like pretty styling to it. And then also another thing that you can do, same thing that you did in the kitchen, I rolled up some towels and put a bar of soap on top. And what you could do to take it to the next level is, if it's a lavender bar of soap, sprinkle some lavender or put a couple of lavender sprigs right next to it, and it feels really thought out and it feels very professional. Another thing for the bathroom that I like to do that really helps it feel styled, it helps it feel polished and put together and very high-end and luxury, is adding disposable hand towels, which right now these are really, really nice to have so that you're not reusing, everyone's using the same towel. I do only do this when guests are over, but I like to have disposable towels so that they can dry their hands, but it also is such a pretty little setup. And usually I'll add more and kind of give it a little bit more depth, but this is so beautiful. Another huge impact that will take your home to the next level is adding fresh greenery and fresh florals. I feel like this is something that's so easy to do. You can just grab some fresh florals or greenery when you're doing your grocery shopping, however often you do your grocery shopping, and make it a part of, you know, the whole experience and bring it home. And adding that fresh greenery, it makes the biggest difference. I've actually recently tried, you know, preserved florals and greenery, and I always go back to the fresh, the real stuff. It just makes such a big difference and such a big impact on our home decor. So right now I have fresh olive twig in our living room. My sister-in-law was just here, and it was actually one of the things that she complimented, because I do think it's something that's so simple, inexpensive, or free. You can go out. This is actually from outside. Clip off some fresh greenery and it makes the biggest impact. Along with fresh greenery, having fresh food in your home, because again, this is another real life element. It's a element that it's just kind of like the same idea as flowers. So having real fruit right now, it's citrus season, so we have a ton of grapefruit, but even like your garlic that you cook with, having it out, putting it in something cute. This is a vintage molcajete that I found, and it just makes such a big difference. Now I could put this on a stack of recipe books and it's gonna give it a whole styled look, but to be real, this is exactly how it looks like in my kitchen right now, but still, it's still so beautiful. The next thing that I think makes your home look professionally styled, looks professionally designed, is adding vintage. I talk about vintage all the time on this channel. I'm super passionate about it. I love vintage pieces. I genuinely think it is the cherry on top to interior design. I think that there's nothing more beautiful than a true patinaed antique piece. Also, recently I've been really getting into vintage pieces like this desk. I will put in an image of the desk that I painted, and it wasn't pretty to me at first. Like the bones were, the legs were, the hardware was really pretty, but giving it a fresh coat of paint and giving it a fresh new life and bringing that into my home, mixing it with some of my new stuff, really elevates a space so much. So for me, I think building your vintage collection over time is really gonna help your home look collected, look developed over time. And I say these words all the time because I genuinely believe in them. I genuinely think that this is really what takes a home from just ordinary to absolutely stunning. The other thing is get extremely picky when it comes to vintage pieces. Becoming extremely picky with your pieces is going to really allow you to be intentional and love the pieces for a long, long time. The impact that vintage pieces gives is something you cannot get from your big box stores. You just cannot. There's so much history, there's so much charm, there's so much connection to you and the piece. It is you guys, you just have to trust me on this one. Vintage really elevates your home in such a special way that looks so professionally done, so developed, so intentional. It's just so beautiful. Can you tell I love vintage? Recently, I have been collecting some vintage artwork, which has been really difficult for me. And it takes a while for me to really fall in love with artwork. I don't just buy artwork to fill up a wall. I really have to love the piece. And as you guys have noticed and have, maybe have seen in my past videos, I really don't have a ton of artwork. In fact, I don't have any on my walls. I have some photography, but that's it. And it's because I'm extremely, extremely picky. So I found this oil painting and I absolutely love it. I love a gold frame. It's just so beautiful, but also the picture reminds me of Oregon and when Zach and I would float the river, and this piece just made me think of that river that we floated. So I felt super connected to this piece. And I love this tiny little size because I can put it in our kitchen or little, bookshelves or little things like that. So I think having little artwork is really important as well. But then I also found this piece here, and I personally love oil paintings, but I love sketches as well. I just think that there's something so beautiful about a sketched piece This piece in particular really spoke to me. This piece, it reminds me a lot of my aunt. The lady in this picture looks so much like my aunt. My aunt's one of my favorite people in the world, but I just absolutely loved this piece. I loved the texture that it gave. I even loved the black frame that it's in. So beautiful. But I think investing your time and really building your vintage collection is such a game changer to your home styling. And I find that sometimes when you are decorating a space or trying to decorate a zone or really trying to bring an area together, sometimes all it needs is that rustic vintage piece that just takes it to the next level. Now, I was just kind of talking about this, but building a home decor collection. Mine consists of all my vintage. My vintage stuff is the stuff that I don't donate. I usually hold on to it, put it away in our closet or save it. And I was actually recently just talking to my sister-in-law about this, and she has her home decor collection up in her attic. And she said, you know, if she's feeling like she wants to make her home shiny, she'll go up to her attic and she has it organized. Like she has her shiny stuff, she has her rustic stuff, she has, you know, she has her different things that she loves and she'll swap it out. So I personally love to build a collection to be able to shop my own home, to save me money in the long run. So sometimes you will spend a little bit more on a vintage item, or you can even thrift it. I found so many amazing thrifted vintage pieces that cost me hardly any money. I mean, sometimes you can find some really great deals, but being able to shop your own space and have those and kind of work them through your home, work them through your new stuff and kind of bring that charm. Oh my gosh, it just, you guys, it's just so good. When you're bored of an area, and I've mentioned this in past videos, doing zones really helps you, really helps make your home feel styled. Like have a zone in your kitchen that might be your, you know, coffee zone, or I have one that has like my utensils and my recipe books. Zoning out your areas makes it really easy to style and kind of makes it not so overwhelming. All right, you guys, and those are the tips that I've recently been using in my home to really give it that style look, to really make it stand apart. And I thought when I was making this video, I really wanted to bring you guys different tips that are not often expressed this way, or at least from what I've noticed, and really try to help you achieve that look that I think we all want. We all, especially if you're here on this channel, you love home decor, you love it as much as me. And I feel like we all want these beautifully styled home, but it's not always realistic. I mean, Zach and I, my husband, we can't have a full bowl of, you know, one fruit. It just doesn't make sense. We can't even eat it that fast before it goes bad. But I found little ways to make it work. Like I said, before baking a cake, or baking a pie, or, you know, whatever I'm doing, you can make it work. And honestly, it fills your home decor soul right up. I promise you, give it a try. I hope that you guys enjoyed these tips, and let me know if you've done these in your home, or maybe some tips to give me. Leave them in the comments, ways that you style your home to make it feel a little bit more professional. Thank you so much again, Brooklinen, for partnering with me on today's video, and I will see you guys in a couple days with another. Bye.